All right, guys, welcome back to Emily Saves America. I know you guys all have a problem with that. Make sure you subscribe, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, notification bell, hit that. We're on Rumble. We're literally everywhere. On today's show, we discuss developments in the Somalian fraud scandal, injustice in Portland after a white man is stabbed by a black homeless person. No surprise there. Mom Donnie's homelessness problem, Hollywood saying goodbye to LGBTQ plus AI actors, and the CDC ending recommendations for hepatitis B shot for children. We got Joe Biden at his best, peak performance.
We just have to get up. As long as we keep the faith, summon hope, and get back up and remember who in the hell we are. We're the United States of America. That's who we are. We're the U.S. And there's nothing.
The United States of America. Yeah. What is LGBTQ plus Victory Institute? There's an institute for all the gay victories that they've accomplished. Like, what do you legalized marriage? What else is there after that? And wasn't that like 2006? I don't care what the date was. But why do you guys continue to just do elderly abuse with him? Why don't you just let him retire? Let him simmer down. He's not in good health. He always looks like he's about to stroke out and he's holding on for dear life. Just let him chill. There's a million other horrible old people that have accomplished nothing that are also evil that you guys can prop up. But it's like, leave him alone. Even it's so funny. Everyone thinks we're the horrible party. And I've said the entire time he's been running and, you know, he was okay when he was VP. It's just like, it's just elder abuse at this point. It's very sad. He's not doing well. But once again, the gays don't care. They just put him up there to, you know, humiliate and torture him to talk about their rights or whatever they're pushing these days. Well, how many more victories can you get? You're like a protected class. Like that girl in UK got like and called the guy a and then she's like in jail. They're like arresting her while she's naked in a bathtub. So how many more victories can you really have? I don't think hate crimes should be a real thing. I think if it's a crime, it's hateful. All hate crimes legally need to be wiped. Because, you know, the only people who don't get protection are the whites. Yeah, so that it doesn't work when it's not across the board. We have developments in the Somalian fraud story. Finally, everyone's talking about this.
Finding in Minnesota is growing by the day. Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud. Just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also told lawmakers they believe that
feeding the future of Somalians
could total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch. But he says they have paused these programs. They've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was. They're taking steps to keep it from happening again. And he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
Oh, yeah, it's always the Republicans' fault.
And in spite of the headwinds we're up against, Minnesota ranks economically, economic growth, happiness, number of people insured.
Yeah, it's all good if you're Somalian.
Near the very top. So I'll tell you
it's just not good if you're anything else.
And having this state look like Oklahoma or Mississippi. And if folks are going to commit crimes here, thinking because our generous spirit and our programs that we have is going to give them some kind of cover, they are sadly mistaken.
Yeah,
okay, so what about the Somalians? Are they all in jail? It's like what I don't understand.
Fraud scheme in the country. And Republicans argue that Walz and other Democrats opened the door to this.
Of course they did, because they made money off of it. That's the whole point. Bro, in 48 hours, you guys have millions of dollars of fraud, and now it's going, then it was, you know, however much, now it's 8 million, 8 billion, whatever it is. And I'm like, it's so funny to not be like, okay, so there's a lot going on. You were in charge. I have a feeling you had something to do with this because you probably get kickbacks from all this because Democrats' entire bank accounts are just filled with kickbacks. That's why they opened the border. And you know what's so funny? You watch it on the street interviews. The only reason Democrats are okay with illegals coming here is because they get to benefit off their slave labor. That's all it is. They defend, child trafficking. They defend slave labor. And it's like, wait, bro, he's up for re-election. This guy was like shooting pellet guns at moms opening their doors during COVID, set up a snitch hotline so you can call and rat on your neighbors if they had more than 2 people and like were singing whatever crazy. That's who's up for re-election. Are you kidding me? And now you're seeing all of this fraud. But once again, Democrats have no moral compass. They vote for whoever is blue. It does not matter. You could literally prop up modern day Adolf, and if he was a registered Democrat, they would support him. They support pedophiles. They support criminals. It doesn't even matter. But yeah, no, this state is amazing. Besides the $8 billion in Somalian fraud, this is a great place to be if you're a Somalian, not if you're a American. Okay, sorry. We have photos show from Abdul Tahir Ibrahim with Tim Walz, clearly an American. Clearly.
All right, this news just breaking moments ago.
Is this her brother or husband?
Obtained photos of one of the Somali illegal immigrants wrapped up in the Minnesota fraud scandal, posing with several high-profile Minnesota Democrats, including Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Governor Tim Walz. The man pictured is
the Somalian who funneled the money and committed fraud is posing with Tim Walz and also the main Somalian there, Ilhan Omar. I wonder if those two had anything to do with it, okay? Usually when you're posing with the criminals, I feel like you may be in on it, okay? Once again, if this was Republicans, they would be held at the stake. But, you know, we can't say anything because he has brown skin. Okay, well, we're talking about it, guys. We're talking about it. And we have a video of Stephen Miller on the Somali fraud.
Based on what we have found so far, we believe that the Somali fraud operation in Minnesota is the single greatest theft of taxpayer dollars through welfare fraud in American history. We believe that we have only scratched the very top of the surface of how deep this goes. And you're familiar with all the scams with pretending that children have autism who are not in fact autistic.
That's dark.
Pretending to enroll people in food programs when in fact nobody was ever enrolled.
Nice.
Engaging in massive fraud, lying, and theft and grift on a scale we've never seen before in American history. The total bill, the total tab for this is going to be far beyond the numbers we've already seen reported. We believe the state government is fully complicit in this scheme, and we believe that what we are going to uncover is going to shock the American people.
Damn.
But based on the records that we already have, and this is a significant undercount, by the way, 75% of the Somali population in Minnesota is on welfare. But that's
oh my God.
A significant undercount of just how much
they make the blacks look good.
the Somali refugee population is imposing on this country.
Let's take some heat off the blacks and Mexicans for once. 75% of the population is on welfare, so they have no money. But they were able to scam the American taxpayers out of what? We're going into the billions now. I'm seeing 1 billion, 8 billion. This should be the biggest story. I'm sure, you know, the liberal media outlets aren't reporting on this because they're too busy interviewing Ilhan Omar to ask her feelings on the situation. Like that matters at all because she's in on it. That's why we need some explanations about how she went from making $46,000 a year to now being worth $30 million. Do you think maybe some of her $30 million has to do with the billions that Somalians have brought in? So let me get this straight. They're all on welfare, okay? The same with all the people that look and act like them in the UK as well. They're draining the systems. They're on welfare and they don't contribute. So guess what? Why do we have them here? Why are they here? They're literally just criminals. They literally come here to defraud the American people. If you are an American, no matter how you feel about this, your race, religion, your political affiliation, you should be upset that these people knowingly come here to take advantage of you. Not just me. Every single person watching in America, no matter how you feel about me, they are taking advantage of you. Do the potholes suck? Yeah. Do your taxes suck? Yeah, the taxes suck. I mean, I have to pay them now, and I'm just like, this would radicalize anyone, okay? Like, anyone would go far right after paying taxes in California. But I'm like, that you should be upset. This should be the biggest story in the country, and every person involved needs to be in jail. I am so tired of Republicans being such pussies with no backbone. No one ever ends up in jail. Fauci, chillin'. He should be on trial for crimes against humanity. You want to talk about war crimes? What he did to the world is a literal war crime because people died because of the things he said. The things people went through. Dude, the psychological, torture we went through because of COVID for years. How about people who never got their platforms back? How about that? All the money gone. The Somalians don't contribute. They come here and they steal from you, and every single one should be deported. We should have zero migration from Somalia. Sorry, you have to come here, you have to contribute, okay? At least Mexicans come here and contribute, okay? They actually do. And it's hard for me to say that because I agree. Every illegal I want out of this country, but the Somalians. They don't do anything for us. They suck. So we have Ilhan Omar's household net worth has reportedly exploded by over 46,000% since entering Congress. Wow, what do you know? The tax the rich, the eat the rich, the people that loved him, love socialism. She went from negative net worth to as much as $30 million in just a few years. Well, how do you think that happens? Do you think it's the Democrats knowingly funneling money and bringing Somalians here? I mean, it's not like this is $15, you guys. If I was $15 late on my taxes, though, the IRS would come at me. That's what's funny. To go from being negative in your net worth to $30 million, which is a drop in the hat compared to the billions that the Somalians are doing right now. Also, the fact that they were around with autistic kids, they're saying they're feeding starving kids, and they're not. I mean, Jesus, these people are disgusting, frankly. They're evil people. So here you go. 2020, negative $65,000, okay? Yeah, keep that headscarf on when you take it off, or she's probably hiding golden bars underneath. 2024, $30 million. $30 million. Who can even compete with this? Nancy Pelosi. She did pretty well. She outperformed Birkins, gold, silver, the stock market. Yeah, she's doing pretty good. Someone who has no knowledge in trading somehow did better than Warren Buffett. I find that to be kind of suspicious. So how? Where's the $30 million coming from? Did you marry your brother? We have that on paper. I'm so confused. Why is nothing happening? How did you get this much money? You are a Somalian thief. You need to be deported, and you are not an American, and you are taking advantage of Americans. And I hope you do not. I hope you don't feel safe in this country. You shouldn't. You are an enemy to us. You are an enemy to all American people, including the Democrats. And you need to get out of our country, but first you need to give all that money back. You belong in prison, but I want you to serve it in Somalia where they're not nice. Not our nice prisons here, okay? That's how I feel about Ilhan Omar. We have a white man stabbed by black homeless man in Portland. So this is what happened. Black homeless man apparently stabs a white man, and then afterwards he uses the N-word, rightfully so. And now apparently they're like, well, we're just going to drop all the charges because you're not allowed to call people the N-word after they stab you. So the Portland jury clears the black man of assault because because the white man said it after the attack. So this wasn't before the attack. So at this point in time, if you are just an innocent white person walking around and you get stabbed by a black person and you use the N-word, which I'm not going to lie, would be one of the first things that comes to my mind if I was stabbed by a random black person. That would actually probably be potentially one of the only things. Because it wouldn't come to my mind. Why me? Oh, I would know exactly why. Because I look around and I see what's happening around us. So, call him a slur. I don't understand. I literally was sitting at Great White recently and there was two black guys sitting next to me and they use the N-word every other word. And I kind of was like, even to the point where it was so aggressive, I looked at them, I was like, you guys speak normally? Like, what is this? I'm like, this is sounding so aggressive and hateful. And you're using it with each other. But I'm like, I don't understand. Is the word bad? Or is it good? Because if you're using it with each other, sitting with your friend 24/7, black community, then it's not really a bad word, is it? So if we use it to call you that after you stab us, I think that's justified. So that's kind of where this isn't, the UK where you would expect something like this. As long as you don't call your rapist you're totally fine. This is America where this is happening. Granted, it's Portland, okay? But I'm like, I don't understand. That's like completely justified. I don't know, what is he supposed to say when he gets stabbed by, what are you supposed to say after you get stabbed? Oh my God, you pesky man. Oh, you bad person. What are you supposed to say? Oh my God, that's like the least bad part of the. It's so funny. We're at a point now where it's like N-word bad, even though they say it 24/7 and using the rap music and, you know, make tons of money off of saying it. Stabbing, okay. Stabbing is okay as long as you don't say bad words afterwards. So there you go. There's your country sliding out of your hand, guys. What are we going to do about it? Nothing. Republicans do nothing. We have a news story of arrest.
Now know the name of the person arrested for a stabbing in downtown Portland that injured a person. Today, police announced that 42-year-old Gary Omar Edwards was arrested on assault charges. It stems from a stabbing that happened on Northwest 5th Street just after 9:30 yesterday morning. Police say a person was stabbed in the shoulder area and went to the hospital with serious injuries. Edwards was arrested by the Central Bike Squad. There's no word on the stabbing victim's condition.
Oh, well, you know, thank God the bike squad was there, you guys. That job sucks. I'm sorry to anyone that does that job. I actually really feel bad for you guys. Sympathies with you. It has been revealed that the man who was charged with the stabbing of the Charlotte, North Carolina light rail was illegal and labeled as a white male. This is a different stabbing, you guys. Sorry, I'm so sorry. We're done with that stabbing. We're on to a different stabbing. So yeah, he's obviously white. He doesn't look like he has any sort of ethnic, Hispanic, nothing in him. Once again, in front of our eyes, they're manipulating the crime statistics. This is why it's hard when you go on and debate Piers Morgan. He's like, well, what about all the white crime, Nick? And it's like, no, we know that there's up white people and they suck as well all around the world. The difference is I'm a little worried that you're manipulating the statistics to use it against us and then ignoring that Chicago every weekend is the purge. That's what we have a problem with. That crime is very real and it's very in your face. And I get it. We're the school shooters. We're the serial killers. That's great. Hey, guess what? With all those combined, we still commit far less crime. Who's worried sitting on the subway next to me? Any of you guys? Anyone watching the show? Is anyone worried sitting on the subway next to me? No, but this is manipulating race statistics and that's crazy. That should be illegal. And once again, he was an illegal, he was deported, then he entered back in. How easy is it how open are our borders? Every time I see this, it's like, oh, well, they go for vacation in Mexico every month, but then they come right back. And I'm like, okay, so we need to do some stuff with our borders. What happened to building the wall? I voted to build the wall. Are we building the wall? Is the wall even there? Are we enforcing it? I mean, Tom Homan's like one of the greatest people of our generation. I love him and everything he's doing, but I'm just like Trump. Like, let's go back to OG MAGA. Like America first, build the wall, deport the illegals. We want all these things, okay? And I'm sure you guys have seen a lot about this. The January 6th pipe bomber terrorist was a young black liberal man. I'm not gonna lie, he looks like a loser. He doesn't look like he would do that, though. I'm, like, kind of shocked. So he's a young black man, because, the race was never mentioned in this for a very long time. Anti-Trump activists. Dude, every time you see these people, they got the anti-Trump stuff. Trump is Hitler, whatever, it's all the shit. But, the whole point is they suppressed this story for a really long time because it was a black guy. Did they not even say previously it was a white guy? And then under the Biden administration, all this was completely suppressed, which is so crazy because I'm like, at the end of the day, this guy, is a very bad person. And regardless of his skin color, it's not his skin color that makes him a bad person. It's what he was doing. So therefore, the fact that they had mounds of evidence that just completely suppressed it because of the color of his skin. See, this is when we have to talk about race because it becomes a real world issue, okay? We have an image. Black privilege is real. Well, we all, black kid kills teen, white kid. Boom, he's a hero. He gets a ton of money. Black dude in Portland, he says the N-word, then, we know. That's the thing. I tell black people in America when they complain, I'm like, nowhere else in the world could you get away with the shit you get away with here. Nowhere else in the world could you stab an innocent white kid to death because he told you to, go away or you're not supposed to sit here because whatever it is. And, you get to be like a national hero and have a fundraiser for you. It's just not a real thing. That doesn't happen anywhere else. It only happens here. And the problem is when you give people privilege, they tend to get away with things And it kind of changes the entire country. And that's what we're seeing now. And that's why everyone's like, there's this rise in racism and white national. There's not a rise in any of that. There's a rise in us being murdered. So we're now having to stand up and be like, it is very, very open and promoted, the genocide against white people around the world. Around the world. You see it. You see white farmers in Africa being slaughtered. You see the UK being taken over. You see here where, people in universities brag about the white replacement theory, which is very real. And that's been written about. It's been backed by data. And there's nothing wrong with us wanting to survive. It doesn't even mean you're saying you're better. It's like, no, we just don't want to be eliminated. And I think that's very fair. We have Mamdani's homelessness problem. So funny, my girlfriend in New York actually sent me this. His decision to end admin's homeless encampment sweeps will cause quality of life nightmare. Well, I don't give a f***. That's what you guys voted for, so enjoy. Okay, you guys thought, Adams and all the other dipshits that have ran New York were terrible. Didn't Giuliani do a pretty good job? I know everyone hates him, but I feel like he did a pretty good job. It was kind of the last one. It's going to make your quality of life a nightmare. That's crazy because I already thought your quality of life was a nightmare. So I didn't really think that this was going to make it worse because when I go to New York, I think it's disgusting. The subway carts that are empty because the guy's ODing on fentanyl. You're stepping over literal piles of human shit. There's rats everywhere. You're surrounded by liberals, so that's already bad enough. That'll make your quality of life a nightmare. And maybe it's just, only going to get worse, but that's okay. You can go send in the therapist to go talk to them and, and they'll just take over the streets and you can walk around them and, enjoy. I don't know. You guys voted for it. So that's kind of what happens. You kind of have to deal with the consequences. Same here. By the way, this whole thing of I'm very aware what's happening in California, but New York is by far a more expensive, worse shithole than California. Because in California, there's a lot of red parts. You know what I mean? So we have a news story about Mamdani's decision about this. If you are not connecting homeless New Yorkers to the housing that they so they don't need housing. Oh my God, it's the same in California. You build them $500,000 condos that I can't afford, and then they're all empty. All the housing is empty. Why? Because they're drug addicts. Because they're loser, mentally ill drug addicts. That's why they don't go in the homes, because the homes require that they're sober. Oh my God. It's I can't even believe that people don't know that. I would love to go interview liberals and I will bring a homeless person with me, pay them $5 for the day and be like, here you go. You can talk to him. Oh, there's a housing issue. So kick out the immigrants. So kick out the millions of immigrants that you put in housing I can't believe they let them put them in hotels, which is disgusting. Any hotel that houses migrants and all the diseases they're bringing over the border should be shut down. But it's oh my God, it's a housing shortage. Bro, this sounds weird. My best friend spends a lot of time with homeless people. I don't know. He thinks they're great or something, whatever it is. He's they don't want to be in society. If they wanted to, they would. You can give them food. You can give them housing. You can offer them jobs. It doesn't change anything. They're not like us. Do you know how crazy you have to be to want to sleep on the street and eat cigarettes off the ground? They're not like us. It's not someone who had a bad day. A lot of people have a shitty day, okay? I have them all the time. I don't decide to go, do fentanyl every day and abuse cats, okay? Which they do. And they abuse animals. That's a whole nother thing. So I'm just letting you guys know, they're not like us. You don't have to have empathy for them. You don't have to have sympathy. I am not that person that's going to sit here and tell you I'm a good person. I'm not one of the Zionist influencers. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to tell you you're a horrible person. But it doesn't work. You're just going to spend more money and it's just going to get worse. So that's what that is. I'm no stranger to bloating and general gut discomfort. I'm uncomfortable right now. That's why I'm so angry doing this show. I've spoken to doctors about this in the past, and they all say the same thing. Eat slower, take a walk after a meal, avoid processed foods, drink water, but do it slowly. But even if I do all that, sometimes I still feel gross. And recently I learned about colostrum. Colostrum is the very first milk, known as liquid gold, that babies receive from their mothers after birth. We're talking about cows, not people, by the way. It's packed with, maybe we're talking about people. It's packed with proteins, natural growth factors, and antimicrobial peptides that work in harmony to enhance your immune response and reduce inflammation. We're all very inflamed, especially our brains. That's why we're all clinically insane. While also repairing and balancing your gut lining and reducing bloating. Today's sponsor, Cowboy Colostrum, offers the highest quality bovine, that's cow, colostrum available in the United States. Cowboy Colostrum is 100% made in America from 100% American grass-fed cows. Unlike other colostrum brands, Cowboy Colostrum is sourced from the first milking of the U.S. grass-fed cows. Don't worry, Cowboy Colostrum only collects the surplus colostrum after baby calves have had their fill. We're not taking away from them. And they don't overprocess or strip their colostrum like other brands do, leaving it whole, full fat, and high protein for ultimate nutrient density, making it the highest quality bovine colostrum you can buy. Cowboy is easy to drink and is made with delicious natural ingredients, no artificial flavors. You simply add a 3-gram scoop of either their chocolate made with organic cow, Madagascar vanilla, or strawberry, that's the best one, made with organic freeze-dried strawberries, into your coffee or smoothie. And as an added bonus, the natural growth factors and peptides in Cowboy Colostrum will make your hair and skin look amazing, like mine. For a limited time, our listeners get up to 25% off their entire order. Just head to cowboycolostrum.com/America and use code America at checkout. That's 25% off when you use code America at cowboycolostrum.com/America. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them, and please show your support and tell them about my show I sent to you. Thank you guys for listening. All right, we got Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to implement more inclusive and equitable credit scores. Oh, you know what this means, guys? What does this mean? We're going to have more inclusive and equitable, not for whites, not for rich people, not for anyone smart or doing well. This means black people. We're going to make things, so we're going to go ahead and just keep going down to the bottom percent of the country that ruins this country and contributes nothing to make everything better for them while we completely screw over the smart people, the wealthy people, the hardworking people. And then eventually, once again, it was going to be like, 2006, 2008 all over again. Everything's just going to crash. It's all going to go shit. You're going to lose everything. We're going to lose everything. And we're going to continue to live in hell because we need to always cater to the bottom feeders of this country. Make sure they're okay. You know what? You don't have to read anymore. No, just pass them. Just pass them through school. Put your black on your resume, get the job, take it away from the Asian kids who have done nothing wrong and can't get the jobs and can't go to schools anymore because we have to give them all to the people at the bottom. And then when we live at that with the bottom feeders, let me know how great the country's going to be. Okay? Yeah. And that's what this is for. It's for black people because we can't tell them you can't read, you're illiterate, you're mentally and we have to now give them their own credit scores because, as Kanye would say, they're not exactly telling them how to balance a checkbook. Okay? Yeah. So we have a post from Kalshi college graduates now have the same job finding rate as high school graduates. And I talked about this on X because I was like, well, I've been told by all the liberals I've debated for years that my opinions are all completely irrelevant. I am a stupid loser because I did not graduate from college. And I'm like, well, thanks. It wasn't an option because not everyone can afford to go to college. So that's a very elitist point of view. But I said, just kind of common sense. Like, look, say you skip college. What do? Most people like me, you go straight to working. So while those kids are being made into gay communists for 4 years, I'm building an incredible resume. I'm also networking. I'm meeting people. And by the time they get out with their shitty entitled attitudes, and all they've done is figured out in 4 years I'm actually trans and that's, my new personality. I've already had 15 jobs. I've made tons of friends. I've networked. And also I'm not in 6 figures of debt like they are. So therefore I'm making money usually faster. And yeah, some jobs you have to go to college. That's okay. I mean, no offense. I applied for all those jobs and guess what? I got them. Because you know why? They knew I was going to go in there, listen, learn, put my head down, and do what I'm told. I wasn't going to be like, oh, well, actually, that's not what my history professor said, which everyone I know that hires kids straight out of college, they're the most entitled kids. And by the way, half the times, I don't know, they're doing coloring charts in college now. They're not even developing real skills. So yeah, I am not surprised by this, but a lot of people are. And I don't understand because I'm like, well, books are free, dumbass. So I chose to read, and that's how I got my knowledge and information, which you can continue to do after you graduate. But yeah, nothing I say, it's all irrelevant because I didn't get a liberal arts degree according to everyone. So I'm not even close to, this is me off my period, by the way. This is me on a normal, just just really calm, feeling good. I slept in and got a matcha today. So I'm giving you my best every day. Thank God you don't live with me. Thank God you guys aren't in my home with me. Farewell to the alphabet actors. Nearly half of all LGBTQ plus characters will disappear from TV next season. Study finds. Thank God. If I have to watch people have sex, I want them to be a good-looking straight couple. That is not up for debate. You should feel the same way if you're straight, if you're gay. We're all disgusting. Like, I don't even want to watch. I think things are way too sexual, to be honest. It makes me feel very weird. And then it's just like, we don't need to see this. We know what everyone's doing in the bedroom. We need to know less of that. But I'm like, good. Dude, everything. Interview with a Vampire to, the new war movie. And it's just like, oh, 2 dudes making out and banging in the first 5 minutes. And I'm like, we're not doing this. Come on. How am I supposed to watch this stuff with, like, my future kids? Like, that, it's weird. It's weird. It's creepy. And, like, I feel uncomfortable when it's 2 dudes making out and being all feminine. And when it's 2 women, it's also disgusting, okay? It's all gross. And straight people are gross, too. I love girls, but every time I see Lena Dunham in a sex scene, I want to blow my brains. It's literally disgusting. She is literally disgusting. And whatever happened to her now, I don't know. She looks worse every year. And, this is the type of content we're going to lose, unfortunately.
It felt so electric and yet still so natural. I never dreamed my first time could be both those things.
First time?
Mm-hmm.
You were a virgin?
Yes.
This is the remake of the Sex and the City, guys.
Someone who falls in love with Cynthia Nixon, and I am actually in love with Cynthia Nixon. Who isn't?
None of us, because she is a far left, disgusting lesbian ginger, and the thought of you two having sex, makes me want to throw up, never have sex again, and then become a nun. And that's how most normal people feel, because you guys are disgusting. Like, look, we want to see, who's hot these days. Sydney Sweeney, Anna de Armas, the movie with her and what's the guy who is the awful daughter that wears the mask? Not Brad Pitt. Ben Affleck. Oh my God, the movie where she's just like a whore and she's banging everybody the whole time and he's killing them. Chef's kiss. You know why I've seen that 3 times? Because they're both hot and it makes sense. Rosie O'Donnell's therapist told her to detach from Trump for 2 days and she lasted 2 hours. These people are so mentally ill. Do you guys think I go home and I think about like Biden and politics? I do this for a living and work 24/7 and I still am more detached from the people who don't even have to work. Yeah, you're talking to your therapist about Donald Trump. Maybe talk about your acting scenes and why they're so disgusting and you think the general public should also be tortured by watching you in bed with no clothing on as one of the least attractive, apparently, women on the planet. I mean, the only way you can make that scene worse is if you put Michelle Obama in there. At that point, I would actually have to take my own eyeballs out and then burn the TV so nothing like that could ever happen to me again because it would be traumatizing, okay? Sorry. The CDC ends hepatitis B recommendations for newborns. So this is a complete win for MAGA and also MAHA. Why are we giving newborns hepatitis B shots? Which is that not a like STD shot? I don't really know. Are newborns? Well, yeah, if they're in the hands of Democrats, it makes sense. Then they would need those Hep B shots. But that's it's a big win. We're very, very happy. And CNN suddenly hates the CDC after promoting them for how many years?
Don't listen to the CDC and HHS anymore. Under this administration, they've become an unreliable source of medical information for this country. Rely on your doctor. Talk to your pediatrician. Talk to your OBGYN. That's where you should be getting your medical recommendations.
I mean, I'm sorry. That was a huge statement.
Look, CDC has gotten things wrong in the past. But CDC
has it? Including?
Has used the best science available at the time through subject matter experts to make recommendations. Now, vaccine policy is being set by just one man, by a lawyer who specialized in suing vaccine companies.
Wasn't Fauci one man?
By a vaccine denier. By Robert
a vaccine denier.
Dictating vaccine
policy.
Isn't he
injured from a vaccine? I love vaccine denier. We're not denying the technology of a vaccine. We're pointing out the fact that it injures people, and isn't his whole thing he was injured by a vaccine as well, along with like millions of other people. I love how like you stray from one thing and they're like, no, disregard everything. Okay, no problem. CNN telling me to ignore the CDC? Say no more. But when you do this, you lose all credibility. You can't even pick apart one thing. You have to be like, discredit it all. And I'm like, Fauci was one person, and he made decisions for the entire country that affected the entire world based on nada. He literally said after all of it, well, I just kind of made it up. The whole social distancing, the whole masking, the whole 6 feet. Well, I just kind of made it up. And I'm like, oh, you ruined everyone's lives. And, people killed themselves because they were trapped inside their homes for years. And, he just kind of went with it. It's so funny. I'm like, imagine being this opposed to something that is like common sense. Why are you giving babies shots for like STDs? And then also even more common sense than this. We have to develop immune systems. Who in their right mind, I'm talking, you're not a doctor, you're a normal person, thinks, okay, a baby comes out of a womb, so it has no immune system, and then you jam it with a needle. Does that seem crazy to anyone? It has no immune system. That's why the whole shot's after even 12 months. I'm like, does it even have an immune system by 12 months? All of those are insane to me. I'm anti-vax. I am not giving my kids any vaccines, and I see children around me that have no vaccines. And what do you know? They're outperforming all the kids around them. Okay? Sorry, it's true whether you like it or not. Just because you didn't do your research and you gave your kid a bunch of vaccines, so now you feel like it's your duty to make everyone else suffer around you. It's just true. Anyone with common sense would be like, it has no immune system yet, and I'm just going to start jamming things in it. No. Doctors admit to performing non-standard gender-affirming surgeries on youth, including castrations, which is so funny because I was told by Democrats that this is not happening and was never happening. And of course, everything we call them out on, it's true. We know that. And they're like, oh, well, you can reverse these things. No, you can't. You cannot stop puberty and mess around with it and castrate kids and then go back to them being normal. Sugar makes kids insane. Giving them fast food will give them lifelong issues. But you think, giving them castration medicine and cutting their dick off isn't going to give them lifelong issues? Like, how does that make any sense at all? But once again, this is something we accused them of. They said we were liars. We are proved right again. Conspiracy theories, 1 million for 1 million at this point. And we have a video of Minnie Mouse helps reveal the gender of a fake baby. God. So we have a fat white trash couple who's at Disney World, I assume. And yes, they have twins coming. Fake twins, I assume. Or real ones. She's fat, so I can't tell. And she's asking Minnie, a full-grown adult in a costume, if she could help them with their fake baby gender reveal. All Disney adults should be investigated by the FBI and probably serve prison time. I mean, imagine being in the Mickey or Minnie costume and you're like, oh, you're just like disgusted by these people. I feel like he would have someone in their basement that he tortures before they go to Disneyland. I will say, look, okay, I grew up going to Disneyland because I grew up in Orange County. We always had passes. It was a very lovely experience. There's, like 5 of us kids. But Disney adults are genuinely mentally ill and disgusting and very weird. Like, do you guys watch the park hoppers, the fat people that tell you, like, which restaurants your fat ass can fit in and which, ride your fat ass can fit on and all these different things? And I'm like, they literally, like, it's like all of them, when people like get molested and then after that they stop growing, like mentally, physically they always grow. Everyone on my 600-pound life that was molested was like, I'm just going to get so big, no one can ever molest me again, which actually is, is like kind of a fair play. But it's like they're stuck at like 5 years old. You watch them and you're like, this is what you decided to dedicate your life to just becoming fatter and fatter and going to Disneyland like you're like a 4-year-old child forever. It's very, very weird. And I love Disney. All my friends make fun of me. I love Disney. I love going on rides. I love the foods. I bought I'm not trying to flex. I just bought a Disney collab cardigan the other day. It's cashmere. It was like $350. And I was like, absolutely, I'm going to wear that to Disneyland. I love it. But this is too much. But also, like, I plan on having children one day and taking them there. I'm not just like a weird, you know, yeah, they were like molested. I don't know what happened to them, but it's very weird. And we don't like this. This shouldn't be allowed. Minnie should have taken the head off and been like, what the is wrong with you? And why are you here? Good God. Like, are you fat or pregnant? Because I can't tell. Anyways, you guys, make sure you subscribe. This is why I have no one left in my life. I can't.